Hello, everybody. Welcome to Introduction to Anthropology. I am Professor Raymond Fong, and I will be your instructor for this semester. Um, this is, well, yeah. So I've used, let's see. Okay, so this week is going to be pretty light, right? It's going to be just some light reading, introductions. I really want you to get to know the syllabus. I really want you to get to know the class. And I just want to break down like what you need to do to be successful in this class. Okay, so let's get started here. Before we get started, this is a older class, obviously. So I'm using this because all the stuff is already populated. For your class, everything will not be showing yet. Now, as you can see, I break this down very simply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, right? And so just make sure to follow that. The other thing is for announcements, please make sure to check your announcements and your emails. Those two, I only send out one a week, but they have some important information, such as what's due this week or what's not due. And it's usually only 2 or 3 sentences anyway. So, you can definitely spend the time to take a read of that. Now, so let's get started. Let's get into this first. All right, let's go into the syllabus. All right, so the week one has all this stuff you need to do. This is obviously not for you. This is over already. But you will have your lectures right here. Okay, you will have the PowerPoints to the lectures. In the first week, we have our syllabus, our reading, our schedule, and finally what you need to do, which is the reflection. In your case, you will also have a quiz there. It's very straightforward. Yeah, and you'll have no problem getting that done. Okay, so this is where all the stuff is. Likewise, if in the future, right, you like next week, it's gonna be week 2. You have all this stuff, right, and the reflection, all this stuff. If you need to go back to whatever it is you need to go back to, just click around in the weeks, and you'll be where you need to be. Okay, so these little weekly folders or modules, whatever you want to call them, are going to have all the materials for this class, including the reading, including the lectures, including the PowerPoints. Everything you need will be within these modules. Okay. Now, if you have any questions about Brightspace, which I hope you don't because this is an online class, so, I hope you have a good grasp of how to use this stuff online. Please shoot me an email. I am more than happy to respond on email, and then we can set up a time to meet. Like, we can do all kinds of stuff. Okay, so just make sure to keep in contact with me. Make sure you know what's going on, and then we'll get into it. Okay, so let's move on. Sorry. Where is it? Syllabus. Here we go. So this syllabus is very similar to yours, if not exactly the same. Okay. So actually, you know what? Here, let me just share your actual class, or the newest version of this syllabus. Okay. So it's pretty straightforward, nothing out of the ordinary. But what I would like to emphasize is the grade breakdown, but we'll talk about that. So again, this is the introduction to anthropology. If you are listening to this lecture, it's most likely online. If not, it is partially online. Now, if you want to contact me, just shoot me an email. I will respond very quickly. And if not, I always like if I don't respond quickly enough, I always make up for it. Okay, so like don't worry about that. We can meet in person. I'm on campus often. Just a quick like fun fact about myself. I actually am a grants writer in addition to a lecturer of anthropology. So I'm on campus a lot. Just shoot me an email. We can meet on campus. If it's easier for you to meet at home, we can meet on Zoom. We can meet through phone, whatever. The only thing I ask is please do not call my personal phone. I don't know why, but some students have called my personal phone before. Please don't do that. Just shoot me an email and we can set up a time to, chat. Okay. That being said, I have no problems setting up an appointment to talk to you on the phone, but don't call my personal phone out of the blue. Okay. Great. So I'm gonna give you the kind of department version of what this course is about. This course is a comparative study of the human condition in various societies and its application in solving practical problems. Topics include human evolution, the meaning of our physical diversity, communication, miscommunication, past and present culture diversity. That's a lot of crazy words, but I'm going to tell you my kind of personal objectives or objectives for you in this particular class, right? So the first thing is first, I really want you to know what anthropology is. That's it. Like, I want you to be like, so within anthropology, there's four big fields. If you hear about anthropology outside of this class, I want you to be knowledgeable enough to be like, okay, this is social culture anthropology, or okay, this is archaeology, okay, this is biological anthropology. That's what I would like for you to do. I just want you to be able to identify the different types of anthropology. That's the first one. Number two, I would also like you to have a positive impression of anthropology, right? Meaning, at least this is not in-person class, but when I ask students, when I ask most people, do you know what anthropology is? They don't know, number one. But number two, they just have no interest in it. Now, this may seem like something that's very kind of out of my control, but it very much is in my control. And to me, it is because anthropology professors have not made it um, good for casual consumption that anthropology has become more popular. This is a long time ago, but there was a year where Bill Gates, the head of Microsoft, was giving out a bunch of money to all these different academic fields, and he basically gave them to all of them. But guess what? He didn't give it to. He didn't give it to anthropology, and so I really just want to avoid that from happening. At the very least, I want people to know and be aware that anthropology is useful. It is maybe interesting, whatever. Okay. And the last thing, this is more of my personal teaching goal, is I would like you to understand the what culture is and the impact that culture has on your day-to-day life and on everyone's day-to-day life. Because culture is something that people think they understand, but in anthropology, we focus very heavily on that. So I'm hoping that those three objectives are met by the end of this class. And I also hope that, you will have fun learning those things. Okay. Now, moving on to the accessibility statement. Accessibility Services serves a liaison and resource to the KCC community regarding disability issues, promotes equal access to all KCC programs and activities, and makes every reasonable effort to provide appropriate accommodations and assistance to students with disabilities. Your instructor will make accommodations you need once you provide documentation from the AAS office. Please contact AAS for assistance. So this is very straightforward. If you have any accessibility needs, please feel free to reach out to me. I have no problem giving students the extra time or whatever they need, especially for this class. It's very straightforward. It's usually just extra time. But what I ask is please do it early, right? So for example, if we have a test on Friday, don't contact me Friday saying like, hey, I need more time. Please do so earlier, okay? And for those of you that are familiar, this process can be done like now if you really wanted to, okay? So please get this done earlier than later. Very nice. So conduct guidelines, this is really not applicable to you guys. But let's move on to plagiarism. So plagiarism, the work in this class must be your original work and ideas of the student. Any assignment or part of an assignment that is copied from other sources will be grounds for failing this course. This includes both web-based and student-based sources. Likewise, cheating on an exam is an automatic failure of the exam course. The professor will refer to the student and the work to the dean's office. So look, here's the thing. I know everyone here is using AI. It's fine. I really don't care. However, what I do care is that the information from this class is being learned by you, right? What does that mean? What I mean by that is when I ask a question, those answers need to come from my class. Okay. So, and you'll see in the not this one, in the next reflection, I'll explain it when we get there next week. But I will ask you a question specifically from class. If you do not answer that question correctly, you will lose points. Okay. So I'm sorry I have to do this. I personally don't love to do this, but at the same time, it's like too difficult to really what's it called? Root out all the misuse of AI in my class. Okay, so that's what it's going to come down to. So pay very close attention to what is in this class, and you'll be, no problem. So some things are going to be very easy. I've had students really abuse AI and try to use them to answer questions about a video we watched in class. They weren't even hard questions. It was more like, who are these people? And they failed to answer those correctly. Please don't be these students, okay? So please use AI responsibly. If you are to use AI, I would rather you use it to help you write something as opposed to give you the answers, okay? I want all the answers from this class. And as you can imagine, this is an introduction to anthropology class. So it's not like, my information is going to be that much different than someone teaching an introduction to anthropology class in like Wisconsin. So that makes my job very challenging. Please, you as a student, don't make my job any more challenging than it needs to be. Okay. Now, materials and required texts is basically nothing. Especially for required text, it's like completely nothing. Full disclosure, our department had a disagreement with the textbook people, and so now we just told them to, you know, bite dust, and we'll if we use their stuff, we'll just use the PDF versions of it. So don't worry about that. I will provide you all the readings you need. And finally, for materials, same thing. Don't need anything, but what you do need is a good understanding of how to use Brightspace. So again, if you have any issues with using Brightspace, please let me know. Please let me know earlier than later. Okay. Now, this is the juicy stuff. Exams, reflections, and quizzes. Okay, so for the exams, okay, this is the easiest to explain. There are going to be two big exams. One is midterm and one is final. The midterm is going to be 20 points or 20% of your grade, and the final is going to be 25% or 25 points of your grade. Very straightforward. The midterm and the final will both have multiple choice questions as well as short answer questions. To be honest with you, the multiple choice questions are just there to make you feel more comfortable. I personally care a lot more about the short answer questions, and that care will be reflected in the points distribution, meaning the short answer questions are worth a lot more than the multiple choice questions. Okay. Now, for the reflections. So reflections is basically homework. That's all it is. Now, the reflections, there will be 5 of them total. Okay. The first one, which will be due soon, is just a very it's just to get you into things, right? I just want you to be familiar with submitting. I want you to get the feedback you need, like, like make sure to submit in Word doc or PDF or whatever, and not to submit in notes or something. So that's kind of what the first reflection is, right? Just kind of going over the syllabus, going over what needs to get done in this class. The second, third, fourth, and fifth, which are 4 of them, will each be covering one part of anthropology. We will be going over 4 parts. Okay. Now, each of these assignments need to be 600 words, either a single spaced or a double spaced. And they will be following the directions of instructions, right? Usually this reflection will be half summary, half analysis. And of course, the instructions will be provided, to write it when it comes up. Each homework assignment must be submitted online through Brightspace, obviously. Any missed or late submissions will receive a deduction. Each homework assignment will be worth 8 points. Late papers will be accepted with an initial 10% deduction and 5% deduction each day following. So let's talk about the late policy first. The late policy is very straightforward. If you turn in your work on Friday, you get 100, let's say, right? Now, if you give it to me Saturday, 1 day late, it is 90. If you give me Sunday, 85, Monday, 80, Tuesday, 75, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, the thing here, though, that I want to kind of point out to you is, remember, each of these assignments are worth 8 points. That means that the first day you're losing 0.8 points, and the next day you're losing 0.4 points. It sounds like it's not a lot, but it actually is quite a bit. Now, those 8 points are actually 8% of your grade. What that means is basically, if you're doing very well in my class, or doing pretty well in my class, and you're getting, let's say, 83% in my class, if you miss one of these assignments, it'll drop you to a 75. So you go from a B to a C, just like that. So each of these homework assignments, because they're not very many, are worth a lot of your points. So please do not miss your homework assignments. Your homework assignments are going to be the key to doing well in this class. Okay. Now, that being said, I am not very strict about homework assignments. You can get it wrong a lot of times as long as it's on topic. But the main point here is that you need to complete them. A lot of students complain about too much homework, like complain about not enough homework. I don't really care about all that. I don't want to overwhelm you with work, but at the same time, I need you to understand the concepts I'm trying to teach you. So there will be only literally 5 homework assignments for this entire class. It's very straightforward. And that is why I don't have a lot of, I wouldn't say I'm strict. I guess I am strict about this because I feel like it's so simple and easy already. To make it even easier is ridiculous. So make sure to do your homework and you'll be good to go. Okay. And be careful. Homeworks are worth a lot, or kind of sneaky, worth a lot of your points. Okay. The last thing here is quizzes, right? Every student will begin the course with a full 15 points. quizzes will be given weekly. You can miss up to 4 oops, sorry, there's a little typo there. 4 quiz questions and still receive full credit. If you miss 5, your score will go down by 5 points, and then 1 point for every missed question after. So basically, you're going to have all these quizzes every week, and it's usually going to be like 2, maybe 4 questions. It's going to be very light. And you can get up to 4 of them incorrect, no problem. However, once you go past that, you get deducted points. Now, this might sound like a weird quiz kind of situation, but I want to tell you, this is from the CUNY policy that we're not allowed to grade on attendance. So what I do is I give quizzes in class. You obviously can't take the quiz if you're not in class. If you're online, this doesn't really, matter to you as much, but that's where this comes from. So just keep that in mind. There will be quizzes every week. Just, keep answering them. I need you to listen to these lectures. If you do not listen to these lectures, you will not do well in this class. And more importantly, if you don't listen to these lectures, what's the point of even having me? You just might as well just take the anthropology course on ChatGPT. Okay, so keep that in mind. And of course, with that, late quizzes are not accepted. Period. Okay, so don't worry, you have 4 quiz questions that you can get wrong and still receive full credit. And however, once you go past that, that's when, stuff starts hitting the fan. Okay. All right, last thing. So this quick breakdown right here is done. You have reflections, which are 8 points multiplied by 5, 40. And then you have in-class assign. Oh, shoot, this should be quizzes. Sorry, it should be quizzes, 1 point per question. And then, well, actually, it's more like, don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. Forget that. Quizzes, you start with 15 points, and then if you miss 5, you go down. And if not, you stay at 15. And finally, test, you have the midterm, that's 20, and the final is 25 points. Now, this last thing, extra credit, okay? At the end of the semester, there's an extra credit assignment that is worth 5 full points, which is 5% of your grade, meaning you could be getting, I don't know, a B, like a solid B, 85, right? And you have plus 5, it bring you up to a 90, you get 90 in this class, okay? Now, I put this at the end because I know students need it sometimes, but quite frankly, I don't like to grade it. It's a lot to do. I have to grade your finals and I have to grade your extra credit. It's a lot to do. So with this particular assignment, and you'll see later on, it is a do or die situation, meaning that you will either get the full 5 points or the extra credit, or you will get a 0 if you do not follow directions. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's the breakdown. That's pretty much it, I think. I think that's it for the syllabus part. Let me show you how to get to the lectures. So this will be your first lecture. Okay, so remember the lecture's right here, and it'll bring you click this and it'll bring you to a YouTube channel. That's how I put on my lectures. Yeah, and then submitting your homeworks right here. I think that's pretty much it. I think we're good. Oh, sorry, that's what it was. The tentative schedule. Now, this schedule is very tentative. It is not exact, but as you see here, this is already not the same. But things change all the time. I might be traveling in. Oh wait, doesn't matter. This one's online. But if anything happens, I'll let you know. That's why it's important to check your email and check the announcements. But generally speaking, as you can tell, right, something and then reflection. Archaeology, we're going to finish it, then a reflection. Social core anthropology, finish it, reflection, and then the midterm. Linguistic anthropology, reflection, and then finally biological anthropology, reflection, final, extra credit. Okay, so this is kind of the general gist of the class. And as always, if you have any questions, you'll feel free to shoot me an email. Okay, that's pretty much it. All right, so this is lecture 1. I'm going to put a little bit of an Easter egg, not sure the Easter egg, a quiz egg at the end of this lecture. I was technically born in, even though I'm from San Francisco, yeah. So I'm from San Francisco, up until 18 years old. Went to Tucson, Arizona for the University of Arizona. I got a degree in Chinese cultural studies. Kind of my thing, kind of not really. Moved to Teachers College, Columbia University, and got my degree in education anthropology, much more towards what I want. And now I work here at Kingsborough. A fun fact about myself is that even though I'm from San Francisco, I technically am not born in San Francisco. I'm technically born in Oakland. And the reason for that was because apparently at that time, when the ambulance took my mom to the hospital, it just so happened that time that the San Francisco hospitals were full, and so they had to like rush her all the way into Oakland. So that's just a fun fact. You will be quizzed on that though, so make sure this is just a kind of a reminder to watch all the lectures thoroughly. Look, these lectures aren't even that long. So if you can't even throw in like 2 hours to watch lectures, then in my opinion, you deserve a bad grade. Okay. So keep that in mind. The next lecture, we'll be going into introducing the four fields of anthropology, and then we'll move on from there. All right. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email at raymond.fong@kbcc.cuny.edu.